from S1 here, and we're going to go over the Freelander Driveshaft. And to start, we're obviously going to start with the factory one and show you guys a factory one. So I just want to explain the factory one really fast. So right here, this is the transfer case side, and what's in here is basically like what you would see inside of an axle. And what happens is these things pop out. I can't really get this to pop out, but these things pop out and break. And we've had a couple customers snap these and stuff like that before they bought our kits. And basically this thing only has about like an inch of play until it's completely in the wrong spot, and with too much torque or on a launch it'll just snap. And then when you come over here, obviously this is completely factory. All the old joints, but this is like the old carrier bearing that I'm going to explain in a second. I just want to show you guys like the actual drive shaft from factory now. And then over here, the factory ones for the diff side versus we're going to start over here on ours. So this is the diff side, and these joints are all 1310, and this 1310 flange is machined specifically to fit in the Freelander factory tube. So when you get the tube right here like this, basically like if you see here that this one was welded, it is just cut, and this is like basically like a press fit, and this press fits into here. But you guys have to have this complete shaft, because we get questions like if the tube is the wrong size, our kit will not work. But so this is all upgraded compared to this. I don't know if you can tell, but you can see how much bigger this flange is than this flange right here.
So this is a 310 upgrade.
This is a 310 upgrade, and this is the stock. So yeah, this one that's right here is actually for the Wagon. You guys have to specify whether it's Wagon or CRV element. This is the CRV element diff flange, and then this is the Wagon diff flange. This drive shaft is set up with the Wagon diff flange. But yeah, we keep getting questions about the shafts, and if they're not the factory shafts, they're not going to fit our machined press in flange.
Our kit, yeah.
Yeah, our kit, exactly. So let's come down to the center now. So the next thing we got down here is the center carrier bearings. So what we've seen so far is no one has really had any problems with these factory U-joints. We're actually trying to locate and figure out everything 1310 for this as well in the future, but right now we're trying to source the main problems, which is the front and back of the drive shaft and these carrier bearings, because we haven't really seen that many of these go bad
right there.
Yeah, basically. And if yours is bad, you can get a new one relatively cheap offline. So it's not really something that we're trying to fix factory. If we fix it, we want to fix it as an upgrade. So here's a factory carrier bearing, okay, and here is our carrier bearing, which is basically, it's aluminum and rubber, and this one is steel and rubber. And ours is you can tell the difference obviously on the bottom. It sits a tiny bit lower, and that helps with the drive shaft angle that we see, that when people put these, the drive shaft is at a little bit too high of an angle, so it kind of dips up and then dips back down. So
and you got to cut off the
yeah, the ears too, that we'll get to, I guess. But so these ears have to be trimmed off to help the drive shaft angle, but on ours it's kind of as low as it possibly can be. You can see it dips down a tiny bit right here as well, but it's basically as low as it possibly can be. And this is aluminum, and the rubber on the inside of the carrier bearing is pretty much equivalent, and or maybe a tiny bit stronger than the factory rubber, but it's almost like a factory replacement. Definitely lighter and better for the angle. So like everyone has to cut these little spacers off and use the flange to like kind of get the best angle possible. So that's why we're just going to deliver one just like this, so that it's flat. And we're going to show it to you installed soon on the EK, in the red EK as an update soon, so you guys will see this thing installed. But as you can see, like, this is lower than this one. Is basically holding the entire vicious coupler off, and this one has a lot more room to play with. Yeah, with this almost flush to the ground.
Okay.
Yep. And then let's get to all the way to the, this is the transfer case end, and at the transfer case end, all these are the same. These flanges are the same for the B and K all-wheel drive CRV Transit. So the flange is exactly the same. These are 1310 as well. And another thing that I didn't say about the front or the back is none of this requires adapters, because what we found is people are buying adapters, but they still have all these old joints, and these are still breaking. So for the same price, we were trying to come out with a kit that doesn't require any of these adapters, and you're getting all these brand new upgraded parts. This is all 1310 as well, U-joint, flange, and this is a slip yoke. Yeah. On this side, the slip yoke is also machined perfectly to fit inside the Freelander Driveshaft tube as well. Again, the tube has to be the factory tube, because we keep getting people with questions with, yeah, they have like if they're making their own tubes, or I guess it's possible if you made your own tube and you were knowledgeable enough to make measurements that fit exactly, yeah, I guess you could make your own tube. The other cool thing about this is when you make your measurement and you cut to slip this in, this has about 4 inches of play. You can't really, it's not really very easy to move, but this one's literally brand new, so they don't really move very good. But this has 4 inches. Like this one, this has 4 inches of travel where it's in the correct location to hold like all of its proper power that it can hold. So even in like basically like a spec location, it has 4 inches of travel. Like this has 1 inch. And the thing that people don't realize is they're buying these spacers. This drive shaft still has to get cut, because just because you buy spacers doesn't mean that the drive shaft just automatically fits. Like, yeah, you could buy a spacer and you maybe only have to cut one side of the drive shaft to make it fit, but you still have to cut the drive shaft regardless. And this has all brand new joints, so you guys literally don't even have to worry. Like, you buy one of these, most of these are blown out anyway, and you're just replacing them with all the new joints. And that's pretty much
covers everything. Covers
the kit and how they differ from the factory to the upgraded drive shaft kit that we.
And in the kit they get these two.
Yeah, in the kit in the kit specifically, you get. I can bring this actually over here. Yeah, in the kit specifically, you're gonna get this. You're gonna get this.
That for one.
You're gonna get this whole end right. Oh, right here. Yep, right here. This whole entire end. Now that automatically comes in the drive shaft kit. These are sold separately because some people have brand new, or they have really good bearings and they don't need to replace them, so these are separate, and these come per, not as a set, so you can buy them per, basically per carrier bearing.
Okay. All right, good deal, man. There you have it, folks. Complete explanation. See, this is a stock. One is stock and one is our upgraded one, and you have to cut them anyway, so might as well cut it and put our slip on both ends and then weld it and have them balanced.
Yeah, recommended. It's recommended to have balanced, yes.
So earlier Chad just explained how this whole drive shaft, you know, the Freelander with the carrier bearing and all that, the joints and all that. So this is actually how it is installed. So as you can see, you got the carrier bearing here. You see what we were talking about earlier, that you don't have to cut that that tab off, like right here. Because if you don't, this tab right here, because if it is, this thing will sit too high. As you can see with ours, it's perfectly. You know, there's no, we're not using any spacers or anything like that.
Perfect.
It fits perfectly in there. What else is there? Oh, also, right here, the 1310. And you can see where you don't need an adapter, it just bolts up to this wagon. This is actually a wagon, but we do have one, this flange, that's made for the CRV or element. And then up here you can see the slip joint, and then you can see that it's connected to the the transfer also.
Direct transfer, no
Yeah,
adapter.
there's no adapter on that. It's in 1310. So as you can see, it's pretty straight. I mean, it's damn straight, you know.
Yep, it's pretty straight. Let me show you guys. Look at this. Look at that. Look at that angle. That thing is
Spin.
pretty straight.
That's
And the
it.
brace.
So what we did here was we actually drilled a hole and we put a nut on there, and then we welded a nut onto here. So this way here, when we take the dry shaft off, all we have to do is take these 2 bolts off right here. These 4 actually.
And that's it.
Yep, and then it sticks out. And these are what got a good friend from Nicholas Manufacturing made this for us right here. So these will be offer also, and these will work with our carrier bearing.
Perfect fit. Isn't it?
See, yeah, see it.
Look at it right there. Perfect. So that's all you need, folks. That's it right here. Perfect straight drive shaft.
So pretty easy to do.
Nice.
Shouldn't be complicated. Nothing too hard.
Yep. So this will be on the website soon, but this is on the website right now. Really good. Look, if you move it, a little bit of just enough play, you know what I mean?
Okay, that's the bearing. Sometimes give.
If I give, yep. There you go, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're here for you.
Them wheels are always gripping, them wheels are never slipping. S1 all-wheel drive, got the mind of skilling down. Them wheels are always gripping, don't get caught slipping. You get behind the wheel, build it your Honda's built. It's military grade.